Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. We're going to be talking this evening just briefly about something that an event that I attended yesterday at the Impact Church of the Woodlands in the Spring, Texas. I attended an event held by 40 Days for Life. 40 Days for Life. This is an organization that has been accredited with helping the abortion pro-life movement against the aborting of or killing of babies. Some of the results that they experienced is 17,226 lives were saved from abortion. 206 abortion workers quit their jobs. 107 abortion facilities closed, and 6,933 is in the total campaign. 855 cities, 63 countries this organization operates in, and over 1 million individuals participants. And also, along with that, thank God for this, 19,000 churches are involved in this movement as well. Speaking of Abby Johnson, who is the former Planned Parenthood director, believe this or not, she's done a lot of things on the other side of the fence, but God dealt with her hard and brought her over to the side of pro-life. She says here in a statement I have in her brochure, "I am in this movement today because of ordinary people who took on an extraordinary task. My former abortion clinic is closed because of their sacrifice. Babies are alive because of them. Women are no longer being hurt by abortion in their community. You can do this. You can save a life. I now walk alongside you, 40 Days for Life movement." And she's Abby Johnson, former Planned Parenthood director. So she worked in the industry on the other side. And I'm going to read another statement here that was made by our president, President Donald J. Trump. 40 Days for Life is one of the leading voices in the pro-life movement. Your movement's more than 1 million volunteers offer families loving alternatives to abortion, spreading a culture of love and compassion across our country. Our country is grateful for the wonderful work you do. And my administration stands with you as you fight to protect human life. And this is a statement from President Donald J. Trump. Now, as the Black Conservative Voice, I'd like to also share a little something here. This is involving the facts, involving the abortions and the things that have occurred within this country. I'm just going to read some information here. Several years ago, when 17,000 babies were found in dumpsters outside of pathology laboratories in Los Angeles, California, some 12 to 15,000 were observed to be black. Some 12 to 15,000 babies were observed to be black. This is out of 17,000 babies put into dumpsters. Congressman Kevin Brady also spoke at the event at Impact Church of the Woodlands, and he made some statements also saying, of course, that he is definitely pro-life, and when you get out this fall, you need to vote him back into office. But we need to stand by this movement 40 Days to Life. Now, another organization here in this area is Life First, headed up by Teresa Streck, and I thank them for inviting me to this meeting. But it says here, "Wake up, Black America, and relive Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. The way of abortion is the way back into bondage." This was a statement made by Irma Clardy Craven. She's deceased. She was a social worker with a civil rights leader. We as African Americans, we need to get behind our young women and support them in taking the stance of the right to life. I heard said at this organization, Miss Abby Johnson, she gave a speech during this luncheon, and what she said was, and I understand exactly what she meant, she said that people were asked, even when she worked in the clinic, why are you doing this? Why is this something you can do? And you know what they said? It wasn't because of any moral conviction or any thing where they felt threatened or anything else. They said that they were doing it because it was legal. That's what they said. Well, they say it's legal, so I can go ahead and get it done. Disregarding, of course, the baby's life and the moral implications of this whole thing called abortion. We need to stand back, people. We need to wake up and understand that black women, of course, constitute, they say here, 13% of the female population of the United States. But they underwent approximately 36% of abortions. 36% of abortions were done on black women. Yet they're a very small number in this country. And I might like to add to say that the second group in line are the Hispanic females. So people, we need to wake up and understand that Planned Parenthood and all these things we see going on in our country today are things to undermine our Judeo-Christian values in this nation. They are trying to destroy the Christian church. That is really what the main focus is. And abortion is just another form of bondage. I haven't heard anybody in this Black Lives Movement talk about abortion. I haven't heard them say anything about it. Yet there are a lot of black lives being lost in this thing we call abortion. We're going to take a short break right now. We'll be right back with you in a moment here on a Black Conservative Voice. I'm David Colbert.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. In the news today, President Trump has also been tested once again, and he has been found to have antibodies that fight now against COVID-19. Now, we realize he had an antibody treatment also when he went into the hospital, but now he has produced within his body antibodies that fight against the virus COVID-19. So, moving on. President Trump says he is willing to sign an independent COVID-19 relief measure. Once again, Pelosi puts down the stimulus talks. She puts it down. I am telling you people of San Francisco, get out and vote her out of office. You'll be a lot better off without her there, because she is holding up this country and she is causing all kinds of problems in our economy and in our lives. Don't be foolish and continue to vote for somebody that is not accomplishing anything. And that also goes to a lot of the Democrats that are in office right now. Those of you in New York, too, voted Ocasio-Cortez out of office as well. She hates America and she hates the nuclear family right along with BLM. And she's already a confessed socialist. So if you vote for her, guess what? You've joined the crew as a socialist. Okay, moving on. College drops diversity efforts after Trump bans critical race theory. And they make it look like there's something wrong with that. We are Americans. It's already known that we are of every race, creed, and color. So why are we focusing so much on those outward appearances, as man often does? President Trump on Tuesday night, once again, he said that he's willing to pass several independent coronavirus relief measures, including a new round of stimulus checks. Wow, great! Hours after pushing for a pause in negotiations on a new aid package. If I am sent and stand alone, okay, this is Nancy Pelosi talking. If I am sent a standalone bill for stimulus checks, $1,200, they will go out to our people immediately. I am ready to sign right now. Are you listening, Nancy Pelosi? This is what President Trump is saying. He's talking to Nancy. The House and Senate should immediately approve $25 billion for airline payroll support and $135 billion for Paycheck Protection Program for small businesses. Both of these will fully be paid for with unused funds from the CARES Act. Have this money, I will sign now. This is what the president wrote, once again, in a tweet earlier today. Trump shows support for the individual coronavirus relief comes after projected proposal for House Democrats earlier Tuesday and called on congressional Republicans to hit the brakes on the negotiations until the election. So he wants it stopped, but he wants to get aid to the American people. People, let me tell you something. Even if it doesn't work and he doesn't get it done, we need to vote Republican in the November elections so that we can get all this garbage out of the way with these do-nothing Democrats that all they want to do is hold up things that benefit the American people. The president has said congressional Republicans should instead focus efforts on confirming Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett. The White House and Democrats for months failed to agree on terms for new pandemic relief legislation. Pelosi last week relented on her push for a single massive bill, saying she was willing to stand-alone legislation to prevent mass layoffs at airlines. So she's willing to work something in a standalone thing, and we're hurting. Us American people, we are hurting. I lost my business. I lost a lot of things in this shutdown. I didn't agree with the shutdown in the beginning. I still don't agree with it, but I lost a lot in this shutdown. Business for me, I have other businesses too, as well as being a newscaster here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. Well, once again, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with you in a moment. We have a lot of news for you.
I'm Greg Raths. As a veteran, current council member, local businessman, I know our community. As your congressman, I'll fight to reduce healthcare costs, keep our cities safe and our communities healthy. Our jobs protected, our economy growing, and our nation defended. Orange County is a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family, but together we can make it even better.
Vote Greg Raths for Congress.
I'm Greg Raths, and I approve this message.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. National Intelligence Director John Ratcliffe on Tuesday declassified documents about a claim Hillary Clinton ordered a campaign plan to stir up scandal by linking President Trump to the Russians in 2016, and that indicated then President Barack Obama knew about her possible role. President Obama knew about it, yet he allowed it to go on. Ratcliffe provided to Fox News an updated set of notes from the CIA director, John Brennan, about a briefing for President Obama that touched on the allegations and an investigative referral from the CIA and the FBI describing the claim. This is a quote. Today, the direction of President Trump, I declassified additional documents relevant to the ongoing congressional oversight and investigative activities, Ratcliffe told Fox News on Tuesday. Most of the unredacted content in the documents were released by Ratcliffe last week, though minor new details cast doubt on former FBI Director James Comey's declaration last week that he could not recall the claim, which Clinton allies deny as baseless, potential, and Russian disinformation. The newly released notes from Brennan, who now is a fiery anti-Trump commentator, indicate that Brennan briefed Obama on alleged approval by Hillary Clinton on July 28th of a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to spy or vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by Russian security services. In other words, people, it was all a big lie, just trying to stir up things to give Hillary Clinton a head or a leg up. Ratcliffe's initial disclosure said that according to Brennan's notes, Clinton allegedly approved the scheme on July 26th. The minor inaccuracy shortens the window of time between Clinton's alleged approval of the plot and the FBI opening its investigation of possible Trump-Russia collusion on July 31st, 2016. A previously undisclosed annotation in Brennan's notes, we gotta get Brennan too, is appeared to attribute Obama as an interest in any evidence of collaboration between Trump campaign and Russia. The initial JC also are on the briefing notes, implying that James Comey attended the meeting where Brennan discussed the theory with Obama. In margins are also references to Dennis, to Susan, which could refer to former National Security Advisor Susan Rice and Obama Chief of Staff Dennis McDonald. Most of the documents were redacted by Ratcliffe's office, making it impossible to understand the full context of the meeting or when exactly it occurred. The declassified notes from former CIA Director to John Brennan is what we're talking about. The investigative referral from the CIA and the FBI, meanwhile, contained previously disclosed passage, noting an allegation about Hillary Clinton. Clinton's approval of the plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russia hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of private mail service. This is a quote within the documentation. The actual referral is mostly redacted, but additionally states that the document was sent per FBI verbal request. It was addressed to Comey, but to the attention of then FBI Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Peter Strzok, who notoriously traded against Trump. Text message on work phones and his mistress, FBI law Lisa Page. In his initial disclosure last week, Ratcliffe said the claim against Clinton was unproven and could be an exaggeration or fabrication. Of course, this is a liberal media, so they will throw that in there. A Clinton spokeswoman did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Clinton spokesman Nick Merrill said last week the claim was baseless and bull beef. But the Trump campaign boasted the latest release. It is imperative that the American people now learn what then Vice President Joe Biden knew about this conspiracy and when he knew it, campaign spokesman Tim Murtaugh said in a statement. At the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing Wednesday, Comey said he could not recall the allegations that Clinton decided to falsely allege Trump was in cahoots with the Russians. Yeah, you can't recall it because the note came directly on your desk, Mr. Comey. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you in a moment. We have some more news here. And you're watching The Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert.
President Trump made a promise to protect our Social Security and Medicare. He kept that promise, and he always will. Today, Social Security and Medicare are strong, and under President Trump, they will never be cut. President Trump is protecting pre-existing conditions. Prescription drugs are more affordable. The cost of insulin is going down. Under President Trump, our benefits and our health care are safe and secure.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching The Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Once again, Comey goes on to say, I do not remember the referral. Comey told Senator Lindsey Graham during the hearing. That doesn't ring a bell with me, Comey confirmed when Graham read aloud from Radcliffe's initial disclosure. Trump mocked Comey's memory and accused him at Minnesota rally that night of being among the crooks who he said tried for a coup against his presidency. And that is really what happened. That's what they were trying to do. And they were unable to do it. Special counsel Robert Mueller last year found no evidence of criminal conspiracy between President Trump and Russia. He said, I watched Comey. He couldn't remember anything, but he's writing all these books. They're guilty as Hell. Trump told Fox News host Sean Hannity in a Thursday interview. Okay, let's move on. One and done. Pelosi urges Biden to drop out of debates. This took place on October 1st. How Mike Pence intends to hit Kamala Harris in tonight's VP debate, who is Susan Page, moderator of the vice presidential debate. That debate is going on, I believe, right now. It was yesterday at this time. Trump campaign invites Tupac to VP debate and jab at Kamala Harris. Tupac. That's interesting. Experts weigh in on absurd barriers for Harris, Pence vice president debate. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Thursday called on Democratic presidential candidate, former Vice President Joe Biden, to drop out of the future debates against President Trump. I wonder why. The first debate on Tuesday night in Cleveland, she said, was a sad occasion for our country. It broke my heart. It broke your heart because Biden looked like a fool. That's why it broke your heart. Because he could not answer the questions that were so simple to ask. If I didn't even know who I chose for judges or whatever, I would have put something on a list just to say it, to get it out there, not to just avoid the question. But he had prepared questions for himself and his own prepared answers that he gave, not answering Chris Wallace's questions. Yet Chris Wallace said, let that go on, and told President Trump, oh, please calm down, sir. Give me a break. Then he goes on to say, President Trump, I myself did not think that Biden should dignify a debate with Trump, she said. Biden's spokesman did not immediately respond to requests for comment from the Post. Now, so here we are. Nancy Pelosi is putting down her own former vice president that's in a position now to become the president or to run for president. I don't think he's going to become the president, Well, he is running for president, and she's telling him to sit down. And really, pretty much, you can read through the lines, she's pretty much saying that it brought her to tears because it was an embarrassment. It was a sad occasion for her. It wasn't for the country. It was for the Democrat Party. They had a candidate that couldn't even stand up and speak for himself. Biden resisted an earlier push by Pelosi to not debate Trump at all. And after the acrimonious first forum, his staff said Biden would still debate Trump on October 15th in Miami and October 22nd in Nashville. Once again, you have the opportunity. We have a very low rate for advertising on this program. Sponsorship, you can sponsor as we take breaks. You see the commercials that are coming up. You can sponsor us by investing in your business or in your campaign and advertising on this channel. We have viewers for this program anywhere from 10 to 22,000 per episode. So please, if you want to get your business out there, small business, or any other type of advertising that you want to promote, please do contact us for the email at the bottom of the screen, and we will see how you are blessed by helping this program here, the Black Conservative Voice. Well, let me go on and say this, and then we're going to read a little bit more, and then we're going to close out this evening. But what I want to say, and I kind of admire Joe Biden. Let me tell you why I admire him. Because the radical left has been trying their best to push him out of moderation into radicalism. But now we see, if you watch Joe Biden now we see the moderate returning. In other words, I don't know what's going on in his campaign, but they're saying, don't listen to those idiots. You do it your way and just do it. Now, I don't agree that I don't want him for president, no. But I'm telling you, now he's coming from Joe Biden's perspective. Through his campaign leaders and everything else, he is presenting a Biden campaign, not trying to appease the radical left. That is why Nancy Pelosi's upset with him. That is why a lot of other Democrats are upset with him, because he is now not pushing their narrative as much as he should be, they feel like. And also, not only that, he still isn't mentioning Antifa or BLM, which in a way doesn't really matter because we can see clearly what his ideas are. Now, I've seen recent commercials on Joe Biden and how he's all this little thing. He has one person come up talking about, oh, he helped this, he helped the military. But the stuff that is in his commercial is very weak compared to what our president is doing. The president is holding his ground. I am so excited for the African-American people in this nation. He said clearly, I am going to help to create 500,000 small businesses that are going to be run by Black Americans in this country. So I'm telling you, this president is going to stick behind his word. Hey, take him at what he says, because he stuck behind what he wanted to do from the very beginning. And he's bought us as a people, African-American people, he's bought us years and thousands of light years from where we were following the Democrat Party. We have funding for historically Black colleges for up to 10 years. So even if somebody else gets back in there, they can fight against this funding, but I don't think they're going to do it. But the funding is there for the historically Black colleges. So we're going to take a short break right now, and we're going to be right back with you in a moment here on the Black Conservative Voice.
Do you care about Black lives? I do. And unlike the people that currently run Baltimore, I actually have a plan to make life better for Black people here. Walk with me. I want you to see this. I'm Kim Klasick. This is Baltimore, the real Baltimore. This city was once among the most prosperous, populated, and powerful cities in America. So what happened? Our leaders abandoned us and Baltimore fell into ruin. But it doesn't have to be this way. None of this has to be this way. A broken Baltimore does not have to be our future. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I see the city differently. I walk the streets of Baltimore and see what could be. I want you to see what I see. I see Baltimore that picks up trash. There are piles of garbage all around Baltimore. It makes life unsafe for our families. I'll work with city leaders to get Baltimore's Solid Waste Bureau the resources it needs to take out the trash.
Our streets should be a reflection of our leaders. Clean, not dirty.
Much of our trash gathers in abandoned homes. There are over 17,000 abandoned buildings in Baltimore. They are a scar on the face of our city.
I will support tax credits and incentive programs to give residents a chance to buy and rehabilitate these homes. Everyone deserves a safe community and a chance at home ownership. Let's put the charm back in Charm City.
Who will live in these homes? The newly employed constituents of Baltimore City. This district needs more jobs. The best way to get them is by having businesses invest in our community. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act gives federal tax incentive to drive private investment into opportunity zones just like Baltimore. Who will work in all of these new jobs if we don't have an educated workforce? 9 out of 10 Black boys in Baltimore are not reading at grade level. Over a dozen high schools in Baltimore have zero students proficient in math. This is a tragedy. We can end the school to prison pipeline with school choice, providing parents with options to escape schools that do not serve our children.
Let's leave Baltimore better for our kids. Isn't that the point? That's my vision for Baltimore. The corrupt leaders hate it. They attack me for taking a stand, for wanting better for our people, our children, our communities. But I'm not the only one who wants better.
Tens of millions of you have shared the struggle of Black people in Baltimore. You lifted our voices. You cared about our Black lives more than our own Democrat leaders. They have done nothing for us. Now they can't hide. It's time for change. We are that change.
I'm Kim Klacik, and I'm running for Congress because I actually care about Black lives. All Black lives matter. Our communities matter. We matter. And Baltimore doesn't have to vote Democrat.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. President Trump jeered Biden during a Wednesday night rally in Duluth, Minnesota, as he claimed he trounced his opponent in Cleveland. I don't believe he really had an opponent, to tell you the truth. I mean, it was like, well, he was talking, but Biden pretty much was way off script. He wasn't really talking about anything regarding the questions that were being asked. I'm amazed that the liberal news media or fake news media did not point out that fact. They trying to make it look like he won. He didn't win. He wasn't saying anything. In a quote, he says, Joe Biden is too weak to lead this country. You know Biden lost badly when his supporters are saying he should cancel the rest of his debates. He's talking about Nancy Pelosi. The reason why they want him to cancel the debates, President Trump, is because they know he's starting to move off into his own direction, going back into the old Joe Biden ways, and they want to keep this radical view going on. So Joe ain't having it. Joe Biden is not having it, and I appreciate him for that fact that he's saying I'm going to do it my way. The first debate was riddled with insults and interruptions. This is what they say, but I don't think that's true. There wasn't no insults. President Trump was just stating fact. And they say here Trump hectored or whatever Biden about his son Hunter's business dealings in China, Russia, and Ukraine. Yes. Why should this not be an issue? It would be an issue if President Trump's son had done something like that. They would have that thing. They would run. You'd see that mess on every news program constantly going. But do you see anything about Hunter Biden? No. But if it was President Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., oh man, they would spread it everywhere. They'd be talking, I'm telling you, I have friends in other countries. And the liberal news media are lying, spreading their garbage in other countries. They're lying. There are people in other countries that are getting false reports from our liberal news media, from our fake news media, believing things that are absolutely untrue. It tripped me out because I'm like, man, they can't get us here to swallow the garbage, so they're taking it overseas and trying to promote it over there. When I'm doing my bit, I'm doing some opportunity trying to post things overseas so that people understand that the garbage that they're talking about is not true. Biden, by contrast, they say, said Wednesday that Trump's debate performance was a national embarrassment. Yeah, to me it was a national show of power. We need a strong president, not a weak president, not somebody that's going to cower under a little pressure. I mean, come on. I know each of you probably have seen the debates that took place between Hillary Clinton and President Donald J. Trump. They were boxing, they were fighting. And President Trump, this is why President Trump is calling him weak, because he can't even stand up and debate in the correct debate way. This is the way it's done. It's been this way for years. I've never heard a nice debate or where somebody's stopped cutting people off or interrupting people. This happens every time there's a presidential election in this country. So what is so new? It's new because President Donald Trump is a president who has accomplished so many great things that has left the Democrats with only one thing to fight for, ACA. That's the only thing they got. And they want to fight against somebody, try to get somebody to take Ginsburg, liberal judge seat on the Supreme Court. Unfortunately for them, we are going to have another conservative judge, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, once she is confirmed, which I believe she will be. Well, once again, I want to thank you for joining me here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. And guess what? I'm David Colbert. And also, once again, please, if you have a business, want to advertise with us, the email address is in there. Believe me, this show is on its way up. And I thank you for joining us here tonight. Well, once again, I want to say to you, as I always like to say, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless our world. Once again, this is David Colbert saying good night and God bless.